Hello, everybody. So last time we discussed about the Deacon. Today, as promised, we will discuss what exactly happened at the engineers on LV-223 before the events of Prometheus happened. Now, we have seen these scenes about the engineers running in the hologram scene and the pile of engineer bodies. Now, the crew, what they thought happened, isn't exactly correct. And today, in this discussion, we're going to take a close look, in depth, what exactly happened on on the moon and what the engineers were running from, and why the ship the one engineer who was alive, he didn't launch the ship 2000 years ago. And what exactly we see on the panel, the green gooey substance. So let's begin. The entrance to the temple required the Prometheus crew to physically crouch down and wiggle their way through the broken door. As you can see, there is a curved door frame and what seems to be layers of stone or metallic doors, of which the final panel was busted in. Now, there is no way an engineer would fit through the small portion of the open door because we know they're 9 to 12 feet tall and over 350 kilograms. So the door of the temple was clearly shut or in the process of closing down when something from the outside busted in. That's right. Let me be very clear. There was no outbreak or like what do you say, something wrong happened on inside the temple, but something from the outside came in. So this shot shows clearly and straight metallic borders on each panel, indicating that this is not simply a hole in the pyramid. So all of this concludes that the temple may have fallen prey to an attack, not an outbreak. The path the crew follows seems to be filled with stones as if the structure had been partially destroyed. Now you can see here the rocks are placed in a way that suggests something broke its way into the pyramid. There was no outbreak on the inside. Something from the outside came in, which wasn't exactly welcome. So these details finally suggest, contrary to what humans thought happened here. There's also a possibility where we can think that could the engineers have messed up or screwed up? Well, definitely no. The engineers are a primeval species of exceptionally skilled and highly intelligent beings. The probability of one of them mishandling their advanced biomaterials or screwing up the experimentation is close to zero, and their suits are perfectly lined up to safeguard them against the dangerous chemicals. And we know that the same design is used by humans when handling radioactive stuff. So it's safe to assume that their suits would have provided all the protection needed against any kind of outbreak or fallout. And all the engineers we saw in the hologram are wearing these suits. Now that we established the fact that the temple was attacked, let's dive deep into who or what might have been responsible. LV-223 as shown in Prometheus and LV-426 featured in the Alien and Aliens are part of the same star system, the Zeticuli system. The Space Jockey spacecraft, which crash landed on LV-426, was very ancient and contained a cargo of xenomorph eggs next to the driver's seat, the man station. How stupid of a design. This suggests that the space jockey may represent a distinct race of engineers potentially in opposition to the group stationed on LV-223. This theory might also clarify the size disparity between the space jockey and the engineers in Prometheus. Also, the space jockey could have been a radical, like a rebellion, within their own ranks, attempting to stop the planned assault on Earth. It's plausible that an internal engineer conflict erupted into a civil war, and therefore aliens were deployed on LV-223 as a means to stop the engineers before they could carry out their assault on Earth. Yes, in the process, the unstable cargo may have been accidentally released, and one of the eggs might have been activated, resulting in the death of the space jockey pilot, and the subsequent crash on LV-426 following its flyby by LV-223. This is possible. Now, let's come to the mysterious green splattery substance we observed on the hologram control panel, and the green goo appears to consist of intricate, seemingly active cells even after 2000 years. First, I thought this could have been the blood of the predators, but it's not in the same timeline. Now, in the comics, during a confrontation between an engineer and a predator, the engineer's blood was unmistakably green. So the only explanation we have right now is that it is the engineer's blood. Not exactly neon green, but dark green. The predator's blood is neon green. Also, the scorched face of the engineer shows greenish markings, and when the deacon emerges from the engineer, traces of green raw lips, a hint of green coloration, can be seen. Now, if you take a look at the audio signatures, in the closing moments of Prometheus, we hear the deacon let out a distinctive roar. Interestingly, when David activates the hologram, a roar remarkably similar to the deacon's can be heard at the hologram's initiation. This indicates that the peculiar sound accompanying the start of the hologram is actually the deacon itself. The roar is triggered exclusively when David engages the holographic playback. You can actually compare the audio by stripping the end of the movie and the hologram. And you can find that there's a very good similarity. See, it's an exact match if you have those tools. So was there a 1v1 between the engineer and the deacon? Well, this theory offers a potential explanation for why only one engineer was found alive. The absence of the deacon's body suggests a confrontation between the surviving engineer and the deacon following the initial attack may have occurred. The engineer awakened by David in Prometheus seems to have been the sole survivor of this entire conflict. He likely managed to kill or at least suppress the deacon within the chamber where the pile of deceased engineers was found. The reason the engineers refrained from piloting the Juggernaut ship remains unclear, but it could be linked to an infection caused by the Deacon during the clash. We don't know how or what the Deacon is capable of. I think I missed this in the previous video. We'll cover this in a short. The infection may have left behind a spore which later mutated after being impregnated by the trilobite seen at the film's conclusion. By entering cryosleep, as suggested earlier when discovering her abnormal fetus, sure. Similarly, the engineer might have slowed the spore's development by entering the cryosleep, prolonging his survival and awaiting reinforcements from his comrades. Unfortunately, they never arrived. Upon awakening 2000 years later and realizing his people were likely annihilated in a few years and within the limited time he had before his death, he completely focused on initiating his assault and wiping out humanity on Earth. That about sums it up. I mean, if you think I missed something, and if you think there's a discrepancy in today's discussion, please do let me know in the comments. Any kind of theories that you wish to know, and any kind of questions or doubts or queries, please light up the comment section.